Right. So, for the drawing board today, definitely have. At the moment, I only have 3 things. The deck list for Black Boss. Demacia just being really good right now. Because, I feel like talking about his deck list definitely lead on to the second point.
Yep.
And then I put, where is the beef?
Oh, where is NA? No, where's the United States?
But I'm just gonna basically write how with the stats that we have, we have to sound like informational, we have to sound like,
yeah, we have the last 2 weeks because community gaming tells you,
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Which is how I know. That's how I'm counting.
Oh yeah, yo, I literally forgot to tell you this yesterday. You know what I just realized?
What's that?
We don't have to wait for anybody to add us. We have everybody's what's the name? Everybody's username.
I don't.
Wait, you don't have access to it?
No, because I'm not admins. For each tournament, you have to make me an admin.
Okay. I'll start making you an admin.
It's definitely a lot easier if you have them add me, though.
Okay.
If you can. Like yesterday, it worked perfect that a few more people add me. It's getting to the point where, especially people who show up every week, I have most of them by now. But
it's just it's easier. Okay. Yeah.
Easier if they add me.
Yeah. No, it is easier. But I was just looking at it and I was like, wait, we have access to all their stuff. That's definitely a lot easier than Battlefly. I'll say that for sure. Because there's nothing like that on
really
Battlefly.
like community gaming. I think community gaming service is probably the best.
Mm-hmm.
Although Battlefly is pretty good. Like, they're good to us.
I mean, I didn't have an issue. Turn off alerts. Yo, Mad Wheels in the chat. Y'all appreciate you. See, this is why. This is why we have this man on the roster.
Mad Wheels? Hold on. Let me open your chat so we can see him respond to what I'm about to say. I think I had my first Legends Runeterra beef with Mad Wheels.
That sounds about right.
It was Mad Wheels and Nerf Lulu. I had my first beef with.
That sounds about right. Mad Wheels, sometimes Mad Wheels' takes be like, yo, bro, are you okay?
I mean, they were bad takes. And even went off Twitter into other people's Twitch chat. He would show up and say something that I thought was dumb, and I'm like, oh, look at Mad Wheels being dumb again. Dude, thank you for not hitting me. I know, I wasn't that rude. I said it that way for comedic effect. But yeah, Mad Wheels. It was all Azir Relia, man. It turned me into a bad person, okay?
Oh, wow. We're going to blame it on Azir Relia, right? That deck was nuts. I'm not going to hold you. Anybody that says otherwise, they're trolling, honestly. Deck was literally, honestly toxic.
He said we had a discussion about Azir Relia. Discussion?
A discussion? Nah.
That's a nice way to put it. I was actually in Swerve's chat one day, and eventually... I think it's me, Mad Wheels, and Swerve talking, and eventually he's like, all right, boys, settle down.
Oh my goodness. Nah,
good times.
Nah, Azir Relia, I mean, if we want to talk about the history, that is definitely a deck that, if we want to talk about Legends of Runeterra history and, decks that really, really change the way you look at the game, that is definitely, probably the second deck that comes to mind, honestly. That deck changed, in my opinion, if that deck didn't change the way Riot creates archetypes, it should. Because that deck was absolutely disgusting. He said, I have a different play style and I find joy differently. Yes, Mad Wheels, we understand. You don't want your opponent to play the game. You don't want them. You find joy when your opponent dies by turn 1 to 3.
And then, I'm trying to remember. It was a long time ago. So, Mad Wheels, if I misrepresent our conversation, I'm sorry. It was a long time ago. I forgot what I was going to say. Crap. It was going to be.
Remember that conversation we just had when we just said that we're adults now?
I don't remember. Yeah, I guess. Put me in front of a keyboard, I will maul at 130 words per minute, okay? I'll be.
Fast as hell. My goodness.
Oh, I think it was going to be. He was really judging me for how much Runeterra content I either played or consumed. Because I think at the time I was definitely playing more than I am now. And streaming more than I am now. And I think watching Twitch more than I am now. So I think I was like literally spending like probably between 60 and 70 hours a week on Runeterra related stuff.
Damn.
And he was just like, wait, are you getting paid for this? That's a lot to do something for free. And then Swerve was like, I said be nice.
And then Mad Bills in the chat says, or when they're strangled for 15 turns. Yeah, bro, I understand.
I like that.
You like holding them under the gun. You like saying, I have a gun and I'm not afraid to use it. That's Mad Bills.
I mean, call me crazy. I want like the Aphelios box meta back. Give me that.
No, sir. I'm good.
Unnerf Veil Temple, please. Unnerf Aphelios.
No. They can claim Veil Temple. But if we're talking about decks that need to be unnerfed, right? If we're having that conversation, then I'm going to need them.
Let's start the
give
podcast.
Me back Lucian.
Let's start it.
I'm gonna need them to give me back Lucian.
What, like Hecarim Lucian?
Yes.
The Grand Plaza?
I want Grand
is that
Plaza. Yes, sir.
No. Okay.
Yes, sir. Unnerf Grand Plaza.
I'm triggered here, and here's why. You want them to unnerf Grand Plaza when the best region right now is Demacia, and we just had someone win, bringing essentially 3 scout lineups, and you want to buff that archetype? Okay.
Yo, let me get Grand Plaza. Let me get everything needs Challenger. What's the problem? You get Temple, right? You get Broken Temple, and I get Plaza. So I can kill your units when you summon them. Isn't it even now? Isn't everything equal?
If everything's broken, nothing is.
All of the things are broken.
I mean, is Sand Scouts even that bad right now?
Sand Scouts? Probably not.
Is that playable?
Probably not. It's probably not terrible, but it's not playable.
I guess you just play Zero Rally instead, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Once Iroya came into the game, it was kind of hard to say, "Oh yeah, I want to play Lucian." Honestly, it's kind of hard to really. That's way too much opium. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. Too much, way too much. Yeah. He said, "Truth is, elf wouldn't be broken if they printed Death Touch."
I feel like I heard them say they're never going to print Death Touch. I think I heard that one day. I could be wrong, and I hope they don't.
Yeah,
make Demacia even more broken. Single combat on a Death Touch unit. God damn!
It just instantly kills everything. No, sir. I just thought about that. Hell no. Wait, hold on. Judgment is
Wait.
No, sir. No. Oh no. No, man, we're not doing. Hell no. Oh no. I'm good. You see, he almost pulled me down, like thinking down his thinking path, right? Almost. And then I thought about Judgment, Concerted, Single Combat.
Single combat, I think, is the big one.
Jesus, no, I'm okay. I'm very much good.
You put it in SI? Oh well, I'll have you know the winner of our tournament yesterday did play SI Demacia. I will have you know that.
Yeah, I'm definitely good. Definitely good.
Maybe they will put it in one day.
Definitely a possibility, 100%. I could foresee them doing something like that. 1 second, I'm gonna start the podcast the moment I bring up his deck list. And then I'm gonna start it because I'll just show it on the screen for them to see. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they have too much striking in the game, and then freaking Judgment, it would be disgusting with something like that. Like,
well, Judgment's already disgusting.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think it actually changes Judgment at all. Because, like, you play Judgment on a big dragon, if it resolves, you kill everything. I don't think, like, Death Touch actually makes that different.
I mean,
like,
because
you still play Judgment on the unit, and you still kill everything.
True. But I'm thinking more along the lines of, like, something like this Death Touch unit, because usually in Magic, the Death Touch unit is usually something small. Something like it's a 1/1 or like it's 2/2, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like little bit of mana, so you'd be able to like Judgment plus X unit on the same turn, which is super strong, right?
Right.
So that's my thinking behind it.
Okay. We need resurrect as a keyword.
I'm not sure about that.
I don't know if that comes from a different game, but I'm gonna assume it's just like when I die, summon me.
Probably something along the
lines.
And
it's kind of like the Undying.
Yeah, it's kind of like Undying. I mean, you think Undying would be way too strong if you could block with it?
That'd be the best card ever made.
But would it be too strong?
It'd be the best card ever made.
Would it?
It would be so much better than anything else that's ever been played ever. All right, let me say this. Minion, actually a good card. But guess what? You have to replay Minion every turn, and it's a 2/1 every turn. Imagine if you didn't have to spend the mana.
Okay. Yeah.
And it grew over time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have to cost 5. Yeah. It'd have to be 5 mana 2/2.
Yeah, it would have to be way more mana than 3.
Maybe 6.
Yeah, I agree. It had to be way more mana. Definitely a lot more mana than 3 to do something crazy like that. Damn, yo. Damn. Yeah, it would be way too strong. Fuck. Like, I was really trying to talk myself into it. I'm like, yeah, no, that'd be too strong.
Unless they give, like, a lot of spells that right now result in things dying into obliterating. Then maybe.
I mean, I could see it, but, like, that's still another, like, whole conversation. Because I don't know if they'd be willing to, like, really do that. Because I feel like there are a lot of cards that, like, kill, but they don't necessarily obliterate. Like, like obliterate is usually isn't it really just the Targon cards that obliterate?
I think a couple Shuriman, like the Emperor's deck ones, can obliterate.
True.
But yeah, they're really hard to get.
True.
I think there's one card that says if I were to kill something, obliterate it instead. Zareth. Might be Ascended Zareth, though.
Okay, let's minimize that. Okay, let me see something. Not that. Wait, I don't have a screen capture for this? Wow. That sucks. Oh yeah, yo, you know what I learned from Sir Tedman's video? That if you entomb an attached unit, the attached unit gets obliterated. I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was like, wait, if you in tune,
what if
what happened?
Put an hourglass on your own unit?
Does it obliterate it?
I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I to be honest, there's a lot of things I haven't tested with the attach keyword.
I feel like that's a bug if it does obliterate it. But I mean, I don't know, obviously.
Wait, how come it's not picking this up? Oh yeah, yeah, Vanessa. I know you can't see. I know you can't see me. I'm trying to put the deck list on screen. And she's calling. Yeah, yeah. I know you can't see me. I'm trying to put the deck list on screen.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye. Thanks.
Bad Rule says I'm playing Pantheon Yuumi, so I'd learn attack. I've been playing a lot of Pantheon Yuumi. I hate that deck is actually good. I don't like the I made one really big thing and now I'm gonna attack you and then and then deck.
It puts in so much work though. I don't even know why.
It's so good. It's unreasonably good.
Alright, there we go.
I don't think we'll ever have a tournament meta where that deck is good. I think that's specifically and solely a ladder deck.
I mean, I kind of want it to stay like that.
I don't want it even to be a ladder deck. I've been playing it a lot. It's a deck I'm gonna continue to climb with. I don't like it.
Honestly, I'd rather it stay as a ladder deck. So we're gonna talk about his decks in order, right? The Poppy, Misfortune, then Shadow Owls, then the Team Callisto.
Sure.
Copy. All right.
You can bring up the deck, that way you could mention it and then switch your screen. By that time, it will update on my end because I'm just watching your screen or watching your stream, and then I can go through.
Okay, I got it.
It's not really that. It's a mana advantage deck. Then I don't know how to play it.
You said it strangles people out. Well, we know how Mad Wheels likes to strangle people out, right?
I just get big units and then give them overwhelm and stand in their face.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm probably doing something wrong. That's how my dumb version is playing, and it's way too effective. So if there's this whole other axis where it can be good, I would love to know, and then play it well, and then probably win like 90% of the games. Because right now I'm over 60%. I'm just spamming big dudes that get bigger.
I mean, when your one drop is literally a freaking 6/8. I mean, I don't know.
6/8. More like
10.
Like 10, 14.
But it's a 10-14 by turn 6. I don't know. It might be it might be pretty good. Oh man, yo! I remember when that one drop first got revealed. I was like, this is not that bad, and I think it was Roji that I was talking to about it. He was like, that card is absolutely broken. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, but it's okay. He was like, no, this card is broken.
Yeah, that's when I realized like Faded was nuts.
Oh man! All right, let's get the podcast started. Sorry, I'm just gonna list off what we're gonna talk about. We're just gonna jump into it like we did last week. I'm gonna list off because I have the list literally right here. So I'm gonna list it off. And then we could just jump straight into talking about the Black Bosses decks. Sorry, I'm gonna start it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Doggy.
Hey,
so
how's it going?
I'm good. I'm chilling. So
Good.
Got the list right here, bro. I know we just came up with this list, but it's okay. For all the people at home, we have a little agenda for today. So yesterday we had a tournament, like we do every single Tuesday. at 7:30 p.m. now, Eastern Standard Time, on Mr. X Donut's channel. If you guys want to watch, he also does an amazing job casting. By the way, I'm usually behind the scenes, doing
which,
a lot.
By the way, I'm gonna shout you out real quick. Doing all the behind the scenes stuff while casting, it's actually impossible. You can do one or the other. You can't do both.
Yeah.
So huge shout out to Mr. Wetheppls, because as far as I've known, the last pretty much ever since we've like started this setup, as far as I know, there's never been a problem. Right?
Yeah.
And it's just because there are problems, but he just handles all of it. So big shout out to you for dealing with all that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But so usually I take it like Noe just said. I usually take care of a lot of the admin stuff, a lot of the tournament organizing. You know, just like preparing random stuff that needs to be prepared. Like sometimes, if you notice, the spreadsheet has become more beautiful. Right? That's the one thing that I really enjoy about what I do now. Because, yo, having the spreadsheet being able to just click is so freaking good. All right, before I get off the topic. So, the agenda for this podcast episode. So, first we're going to talk about the winner of our tournament, which was Black Boss yesterday. We're going to talk about his 3 decks because first of all, I think it highlights the region that is getting the most play right now, which is, in my opinion, I guess it wasn't something that you couldn't foresee happening, right? Because they released some really crazy cards, right? But overall, I think it's just a highlight of what's going on in the meta. And then also we're gonna then allude to this said region, right? Talk a little bit more about the region, because I think that it's definitely a big part of the meta right now. And just in general, talking about this said region will definitely allow people to understand, one, what they should be playing around when they try to queue, because I mean, let's face it, ladder is best of 1 right now. So you kind of have to play a little bit off of stats and kind of what people are playing to be able to, what you should be playing. So,
right.
I mean, it's just simple statistics, right? And then last but certainly not least, I mean, me and Doey have been looking at the stats, guys. All right, and they ain't slacking. All right, we slacking
big time.
All right,
big time.
So
we'll get there. We'll get there. I want to jump in. But
so we're gonna have to have a little TED talk, all right? Because we're slacking, all right. All right. First, let's get to the decks. All right. So I'm gonna switch it over to the first deck, and we can talk about Black Boss's Scout deck. So this is the deck list. So as we can see right here, he is playing triple MF and triple Poppy. So I think. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I didn't even explain his lineup. Like, I think people are gonna look at this deck and be like, "Why is he playing Poppy? Is this Scouts? Are you lying to me?" No. No, I'm not lying to you.
Run through the other decks. We have MF Poppy. What's the other decks?
Yeah, I'll run through the decks right now. Give me 1 second. So, we have this Misfortune Poppy. Then next we have this Callista Quinn deck. Right? It looks really weird. Right? It looks super weird, but this deck was honestly way better than it looks. I'll say that for sure. I mean, first of all, Demacia, good region, right? And then Callista is basically being able to be taken advantage of because your units are going to die anyways, right? And then you being able to revive something like a freaking Grizzled Ranger or even a Broadwing, like, come on.
We saw it come up in Wetheppls games where, actually might have ended earlier, but like Genevieve Elmhart would have been revived as well.
Yes.
Gets that extra summon on her. Yeah, also the Fearsome keyword is pretty valuable right now. A lot of the Bandle City piles have a bunch of 2/1s or 2/2s. So Callista having Fearsome has a little bit of evasion.
Yep, definitely. I think one of the things that actually won Black Boss with this deck was he was able to scout attack, and then Runation came through, and then he was able to then redevelop the board with a Callista plus another unit, and then win the game. Like, that is so strong. Like, that is so strong. Honestly, I think people would definitely forget about how good the scout keyword is sometimes. And just being able to attack twice in a turn, that is just strong. It's just, like, there's nothing else to say. It's just strong as hell. It's just strong as hell, honestly.
Yeah. Also, depending on where you are on the ladder, quality of your opponent, if you're playing this list on the ladder, you might gain a couple points because your opponent might see Shadow Owl's Demacia and assume you're playing a Scyther Matron deck, and you're not. So that's something to keep in mind.
True. No, that's definitely true. And then his Black Box's last and final deck, it is a Yordles and Arm pile. So he's playing Teemo, Tristana, and Gnar, which, in my opinion, Tristana is like, honestly, Tristana is like, she's just like the all-star of these decks, honestly. Because she puts in so much work. Like, giving a whole board impact with freaking rallies, like, that's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, Tristana really kind of coming into her own now. She's finally found a deck that she's like actually good in. Like you said, giving impact to a board, as well as granting the +1 attack to these multi-region allies as well. She grows up, she becomes huge herself, so she has to be at least chump blocked every turn. Yeah, Tristana is really good in this deck.
Yep. I mean, and then we also can't not look at this the Gleaming Lantern here, right? Because it just makes everything just way cheaper. We have Rainbow Fish for sometimes we just get in that elusive damage. Like, this deck kind of has it all, and I really like this. I really like this package that kind of rounds off Black Boss's decks, honestly, because I think the lineup that he was kind of going for is kind of playing like 3 kind of scout kind of decks, right? I think that was the initial thought process, in my opinion. I mean, maybe next time before we do this, maybe we should ask the players, like, all right, what was your thought behind this? But I think just looking at his 3 decks, and if you were to ask me to make a like hypothesis, that would be my thinking behind his decks. Like, he was kind of thinking like, okay, what are 3 decks that I could bring that are kind of like all the same and kind of like act like scouts? And this is basically, like, if you were to ask me, this would be my lineup, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it looks very good. The big kind of shock to me was how good Quinn was yesterday.
Facts.
We actually got to show it on stream many times. It just kind of worked out where Black Boss's series were like starting on time, and it was very rarely banned. So we got to see it played very effectively throughout the whole tournament. Black Boss only dropped 2 games, one of which was on Scouts or I should say MF Poppy Scouts. But this Callista Quinn deck, kind of like the hidden MVP of the day, I think. Really, really looked good yesterday. So, I mean, if you're trying to find something to take to the ladder, maybe fool a few people before it maybe takes off. Of course, we don't know if it will. But I definitely think you show up with the deck with Callista and Quinn, your opponent's not going to know what's up until it's too late.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that this deck is definitely doing some very, very key and good things, honestly. There's a lot of synergy points with this deck. And then on top of that, like, let's be honest, kind of Rally kind of just, like, ties the bow and is just like, all right, well, here's my deck. Like,
yep. Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Good.
I guess this kind of transitions us to our second topic about that region we were hinting at. You will notice all 3 of these decks did have Demacia in them.
Yep.
Demacia seems like it's in a really good spot.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they actually gave Demacia good units for like once.
Yeah.
Petricite, Broadwing.
Yeah.
Duran Sculptor. Really good. Rally is, of course, always a really strong effect. And now you have even more reason to want to rally. Demacia is very strong right now.
Yeah. I think... And we also can't, like, whenever we talk about a lot of these really, really good units, we also have to talk about Bandle City, right? Because I think Bandle City makes up another kind of side of a lot of these Demacia kind of package decks, because Demacia, like all Demacia kind of needs to be good is usually like a subset of units that are usually like either you want to protect or they need some way to like spam the board, or like they're units that like basically they're able to spam the board, and then basically all your rallies are just good now, right? Because if you have like a big board or you're 6 wide all the time, then you attacking twice is usually gonna be super good, right? So that's all Demacia kind of needs. So I think, like, don't get me wrong, I think Scouts was always existed, right? Scouts has been in the game for a good while. And then also this kind of Poppy style, this Poppy dot, like, I'm not saying he could have thrown Poppy with any unit, but Poppy with MF style Scouts has always been a thing. The Callista kind of Quinn deck, I think that's a brew, and I think that's really good. But the biggest offender, in my personal opinion, of the Demacia style of doing things now is this Yordles in Arms kind of style of deck, because it kind of does a lot of the crazy things that Demacia want to do. It rallies, it has a really, really huge board, it's able to spam the board with multiple units, and it makes you kind of like, alright, do you have the rally? Oh, do you have the Yordles in Arms? Well, I guess you win. Like, that's kind of how it goes with that kind of deck. So it's kind of crazy, honestly.
Yes, and not only, I think it's important to point out, not only did Black Ball triple Demacia, but Wasaruso, our second place finisher, also brought triple Demacia on that Yordles in Arms deck that you just mentioned, on Scouts and on Silver Auction. So really, if you're in Demacia and your deck wants to rally, it can only be so bad, it seems.
Yeah, I feel you. And just like we were talking about before the podcast started, like the next, like if we're not talking about these Yordles in Arms packages and even Scouts, then the third best deck is also Pantheon. So, like, that's still Demacia. So, like, literally, in my personal opinion, the 3 best decks right now is Scouts, Yordles in Arms package, and Pantheon. Like, those are the 3 best decks right now. And all 3 of those decks have Demacia in rallies. So, I don't know. You tell me. Seems like the best region in the game.
People on the Legends of Runeterra Reddit and Twitter are all up on Bandle City, which, I mean, Bandle City, of course, just say, because Demacia has always been my favorite region. I think it's always been the most fair region.
Yes.
But right now, what it's doing is just, like, so inherently powerful.
Yeah. I think it's, and I personally think it's usually, it's always when we get like a certain subset of units, right? We get units that are either super cheap to play, which is like spamming the board, or like in Pantheon's kind of style of deck, where it's like you put all your buffs on like one unit. It's like so strong. Like, it's just like, and I think we were also talking about this before. Faded is such a good freaking keyword. Like, honestly, it is so freaking strong. Like, it basically, this is, okay, in my mind, this is what Faded says. Faded says, give unit +1/+1 if I target. Also, my opponent cannot target me, because if they do, then I'm gonna live.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of key. And maybe actually, because I think that's how a lot of players approach it, rightfully so. But I'm wondering if that's actually going to end up being correct as you kind of move down the line. Because if you can kill the unit after they invest a lot of these resources into it, then the faded units or the faded deck kind of falls off a bit. So I'm wondering if people are going to start kind of gaining value by trying to target it again if you can find some opportune moments. But yeah, we'll definitely see. The faded unit, or the faded keyword, it's nuts. Pantheon Yumi right now is feeling really strong. You can throw a Tarek in that deck if you really want to.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, Demacia is looking real good.
Yeah, I think Demacia is super good. I think a second region that's definitely super good is obviously Vandal City. You're kind of trolling if you say Vandal City's not like the second region. That's probably the best right now. I mean, I'm not gonna call out any names, but there be some people definitely on Twitter that are always asking for Vandal City nerfs. I'm not against it. I'm not necessarily against it, but I'll say this, right? And I'm not really trying to say like people don't understand the game or anything, or I'm not trying to say that people don't understand what developers have to do. But I personally think that the best way for any developer to kind of approach kind of how Vandal City is probably not nerfs. And I know that sounds crazy, but I don't think they should necessarily nerf Vandal City to the ground. I think what they should do is try to like buff other archetypes to kind of be maybe a little bit better than Vandal City so that we have options rather than nerfing Vandal City to the ground. Because I think if they nerf Vandal City to the ground, then why would you ever play it? That's the issue, right? Let's like there are some cards in Vandal City that if they nerf them, you would not play them. Like, period. You just wouldn't play them. And you just would never play Vandal City as a region in general. And at that point, why did they even include it into the game? Like, why did they include it?
Yeah, I really think the only two cards from Vandal City that they need to nerf are Gnar. I think Gnar needs to be a 3/3.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I think Loping Telescope needs to be a 1/1.
Wow.
And Conchologist needs to be a 1/2.
Wow.
Give me those three nerfs, I'm happy.
Really?
That's it.
I think Conch could be a 2/1. Conch should be a 2/1.
2/1s are good. 2/1s are good.
I think that card should be. I think Conch should be a good card. I don't think
maybe make one of them a 1/2 and the other one a 2/1. So make Conch, I guess, a 1/2, and then Loping is already a 2/1.
You think so? You think Loping should?
So maybe keep Loping the same.
I don't honestly.
Maybe.
I don't think Loping is bad. I don't think Loping is bad. I think
Loping's nuts.
It is. It is a nuts card, but I think it deserves to be nuts. Honestly, like it's digging into a pool that we don't use. Honestly.
True. I mean, general rule of thumb, the epics are bad.
Yeah.
But some of them are nuts. And so I think I woke up to a Reddit post. The Runeterra Reddit is so bad. But anyway, I woke up to a Malding Reddit post about Vandal City, and someone was just like, "Oh man, I always feel bad." Or is it about card generation in general, actually? Mm-hmm. They're like, "I always feel so bad when I play like the Ferris Financier and I hit a Ruination and my opponent loses because of that." And I literally thought to our tournament yesterday, someone hit a Ruination.
Yes, he did.
But you know what? The god tier players that we have, I don't know if they intentionally played around it or not, but they did. All right? And they hit the Ruination, and there was never a good Ruination available. They never got to cast it, and they lost the game. Like,
yeah,
it's not impossible to play around. Get good. That's what I'm going to tell you guys. Get good. Vandal City is a bit too strong. I'll agree. A little bit. So I'd like to see it nerfed a little bit, personally. I want to hit Loping. I think should be a 1/1. Make Contra 1/2. Make Gnar 3/3. And then I think I'm probably perfectly happy with Vandal City. I think those cards are a little bit too efficient for what they do. Other than that, I'm fine with it. I think it's just fine.
Okay. I mean, I could definitely, if they decide to go that approach, I could definitely see it. But the reason why I'm slightly against it is because I think if we nerf Vandal City, then we make the region kind of like how Ionia was, where it was like, that's fine. Basically no reason to play the region.
Yeah.
Wow, really? You think
so? The reason why you need, or the reason why you should play Vandal City is because you need access to a lot of things, and you have to. The price to paying or having access to a lot of different things is that you do them all bad. I think that's supposed to be the point of it. Fourth card I want to nerf is Wallop. Wallop is.
What do you want to make a 4-mana card? Or no damage? I think no damage. I don't know why that card does damage. I don't know why that card does damage. I have no idea why that card does damage.
I don't know how I want to nerf it, but I want to hit it hard. Like,
just take away the 1 damage.
Mana.
Whoa,
5
mana. Whoa there. Buddy.
Give it an extra damage and make it do 5.
Whoa there, buddy.
Like, Vandal City shouldn't have a open
stun?
attack Punisher.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. I'm surprised that card was even printed.
Yeah. I imagine they wanted it to do the same exact thing Grand Slam. But then they're like, wait, we already printed Grand Slam. Because it's kind of like the same idea with like a Megan.
True.
Doing the slammy things. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm like envisioning. I just make it 5 mana, deal 2 damage. Like, let them be bad at punishing open attacks. Make them pay a price for it. But other than that, like, I don't think Vandal City is like ruining Legends of Runeterra right now. Do I think it's like the latest thing that got released, and as a result, it's too good? Yeah. But I think right now it rewards skill expressive play. I think Manifest is skill expressive, both picking the right card at the right time and playing around certain cards that you know that they have access to. I think it's very skill expressive. I think we're seeing the best players win far more often than not, which is where you want to be in a card game.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 100%. Is there any cards that you can think off the top of your head that you would want buffed? Because I know, like, I think this is a lot of players, not just you, but I think in general, a lot of players are like so fast to kind of like, all right, I want this nerfed. All right, nerf this to the ground. But like, buffs are a lot harder to come up with, right? Because you don't want things to be overtuned. Like, you don't want things to be crazy. Like, obviously, if we're saying something crazy, like, I don't know, let's make Lucian a freaking 1 mana card, right? Obviously, he's gonna be freaking broken, right? But like, we can't obviously just like buff Lucian for no reason. So like, kind of needs a reason. So what I'm trying to say is like, buffs are a lot harder than nerfs. So is there anything that you could foresee a buff happening to?
Foresee or want? Because there's a few
want.
Want? I either said this in the pre-show or off stream. Aphelios and Temple. I want it back. Give me the Aphelios box plus meta back. I loved it so much. I thought that was like pinnacle Legends Runeterra. Not only that, call me nuts, and maybe I am because of what we just saw with Ken and Ari. I think I want Pack Your Bags buffed. I'm ready for that to come back.
No, please no.
I'm ready for it.
God,
and
no.
maybe I just forget how bad it was. Or to like deal with, but I'm ready for that attack to be back.
God no! What's your buff to what's the name? To Pack Your Bags?
3 mana.
3 mana.
Make it castable bonus 12 mana.
All right, fine. I can take that. I mean, what I want. I mean, we talked like we said, we talked about it on the pre-show, but I know this is not gonna happen, right? Because they already nerfed this card. I don't think they're ever gonna buff it back to what it used to be. But like, your buff is probably closer to happening than my buff, honestly. But I really want Grand Plaza back, right? Like, Grand Plaza.
Oh no!
Like, Grand Plaza is honestly, that was the funnest time for me personally. I had a lot of fun with Grand Plaza decks. Honestly, I did. Like, I know it was literally draw Grand Plaza or lose the game, but honestly, I had so much fun with it. Honestly, I did. I had a lot of fun. It was fun as hell.
So I loved the kind of BBG, Garen, Aesol style Grand Plaza decks. Mm-hmm. Those were good. Scouts, Grand Plaza Scouts were a blight upon Legends of Runeterra. I know that's a very strong word. Because, like, let's be real.
Word.
Aziravelli was like a lot worse. That was a real blight.
No, Aziravelli
among Legends of Runeterra. But like, Plaza Scouts was so annoying.
It was dirty.
Yeah, it was like, oh, I'm gonna challenge you. You're not gonna kill it. I'm gonna value trade twice in one turn. Also, dealing direct damage to your Nexus every time I do it. Also, I'm gonna rally and flip MF.
Yeah, it was a little crazy. I'm not gonna hold you. I mean, I'll say this: if we have Mad Wills in the chat, right? He will definitely want to buff a Zerolia somehow. If we were to literally ask Mad Wheels for some buffs he wanted in the game, I'm telling you right now, he would definitely want to buff a Zerolia somehow, right? If it's a Zir going back to 10, right? Because remember when the Zir was level up after you summon 10 units? I mean, that was so strong. That was so strong. Like, what?
All I'm going to say is, I think his Zir Rally was nerfed like 7 times.
Yeah.
And that deck still pops up every now and again.
Yup, it's still playable. Like, I don't know another deck.
I'm probably not going to play.
I don't know another deck that got nerfed that much that is still playable. I don't know another deck.
Yeah,
like, I guess it's just like plain aggro. Aggro kind of like got nerfed overall in Runeterra because it was strong in the beginning of Runeterra. But like, that's just like aggro in general. But like, it's an archetype. Like, a Zerolia is an actual archetype, and it got nerfed to the goddamn ground, and it's still kicking. It is still here. It is probably a tier 2 deck this meta, probably.
Yeah, I mean, you could play it. It's just fine.
It's insane.
A fine deck. Whenever control is good, Zero Belly will come back, especially in the tournament scene. But as far as buffs, I generally favor more nerfs than buffs. But I know that's not the popular opinion. But because I feel like if you're constantly buffing more things than you're nerf, then the entirety of the game just gets more powerful. And that's where I think like power creep over time really sets in. So I like having for every buff, I would like to see one nerf at the very least. Because I think new cards that are printed are always inherently strong. And whenever you buff something, I think you need to nerf something else, or else the whole game just gets out of control.
No, I see that point, but to be honest, in actual retrospect, it's actually the exact opposite. Like,
you think?
Yes. Whenever you nerf something, right? When you just think when you nerf a certain deck, right? You are taking that deck out of the meta, but you're also making a certain deck way stronger. Because, like, say, for instance, when they nerfed a Zerolia, right? It made a lot of its, decks that it preyed on stronger overall.
Yeah, because they don't have to deal with it.
Correct. So, whenever you nerf stuff, you're actually not technically... Like, you're nerfing the deck, obviously. But you're inherently buffing a lot of things around it. Because now these said decks don't have to deal with said card. So you're basically taking these subset of cards out of the meta and basically placing these said cards in this pool where they're way better. So that's why buffs are a lot better because, in my opinion, you can kind of control like what you buff. Nerfs kind of work in a different way because, like, say for instance, you remember, and this is my opinion. I think a Zerolia was super freaking good into anything Freljord Shadow House. Yeah. Like, it basically preyed on it. Like, completely. Like, that matchup was completely just unwinnable. Right. So, like, when a Zerolia got nerfed, right? FTR and TLC basically took over the meta.
They came back, and TLC had to be nerfed also because of it. So, I mean, sure.
Yeah. So
that's a valid point. It makes sense.
Yeah. So that's why I say that buffs, you can kind of control said archetypes. So like my example, say for instance, if they decided to wake up one day and buff Lucian for whatever reason, right? They kind of could control what decks could play Lucian because whatever buff they give Lucian, they kind of know what decks he's going to be
like
played
those
in.
decks just get better.
Exactly.
But then, I guess then you run into the same thing, just in reverse. Then you're inadvertently nerfing other decks.
Exactly.
I don't know. I could be convinced. I'm hearing the argument. I'm not fully swayed, but I at least see the justification.
Yeah, that's why I say buffs are usually, especially for card games. I don't know about other games. Don't pull into my chat saying, all right, this guy thinks he's the developer. No, I don't. I'm just talking about card games. That's why usually for card games, buffs are usually more welcome than nerfs, because like buffs, you can kind of control it more, while nerfs are kind of like it's kind of like a falling avalanche kind of.
I might have been on this podcast back before I was like a constant guest, and I said when they nerfed Azir Relic, they also have to nerf DLC like hand in hand. I think I did say that.
Yep. And then they didn't.
Check the tapes. Check the tapes. I said it. And
you definitely
like you said, I'm not a developer. I'm not on the balance team, but even I saw that coming.
Yeah.
So I think you just have to be mindful. Like, try and think. I don't know. Play your game.
No, that's definitely a good point. 100%.
And I say that, like, actually, in this game anyway, there are at least maybe a dozen riders who are like actually good at Legends of Runeterra.
Mm-hmm.
At least publicly, so they play on a Riot account. Mm-hmm. Which is nice. Like, that's a good thing. That shows that they're like
playing their own game,
knowledgeable enough, and play their own game enough to like make balanced decisions.
Yep.
But yeah, I definitely think like it should have been foreseen that TLC would have been just like busted if Azir really was gone. Mm-hmm. And you also, if you play the game, but if you like watch community tournaments and what's good when you're able to ban a deck.
Yeah.
If you nerf that deck, look at the other decks that people are bringing. They're like, I'm gonna ban Azir Relia lineup. Mm-hmm. Look at what they're bringing, and those are the decks that are gonna get their win rate increase.
Yep.
When you remove the other thing. So I don't know. I reconvinced myself. I am team nerf.
No. That's definitely a good point. That's definitely a good point. As long as you have stats to allow you to
have to think about it.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. As long as you have stats to be able to mindfully nerf things, then you kind of should know, or you kind of should be able to predict, right? Like what's going to be strong, right? Like if I nerf Rally, what's going to be strong in the game, right? You can kind of predict it because you see what decks are played with said rallies. So you kind of, all right, well, I guess I don't know. This deck is going to be good, right? I guess said deck is going to be really good next patch. All right, so maybe we should touch this so that it's not broken, right? So it's not completely ridiculous. So yeah, I could definitely see that endpoint on it as well. But all right, did you want to give the TED talk about how NA is lazy?
Yeah, I'm just gonna talk a little crap, but yeah, I think the NA tournament seems lazy. I don't think they're putting in the work. Or when I say NA, I'm specifically referring to the United States. By the way, I don't think they're putting in the work. Granted, I will say perhaps some of these numbers are being cannibalized by the new Master Runeterra daily tournaments. I haven't looked. I don't know who's participating in those, but I'm just gonna throw out some statistics here. First off, last two seasonal champions, Brazilian players. They're nuts. Elder Senor, amazing player. Black Boss, amazing player.
Yeah.
They're also putting in the work in community tournaments. First off, I think Brazil has a tournament going on every single day, right? Yeah. They have loads of tournaments going on. But not only that, but they're showing up to American-based tournaments like ours. Mm-hmm. Let's take last week. Last week, we had, I'm going to count again, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 players from Brazil in Mr. Shot Podcast tournament number 20. Now, let's check out America. America, a bigger country than Brazil. Brazil is a big country. I think 120 million people.
Mm-hmm.
America, I think, is around 320, 330 million people. So much bigger country. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9. Sorry, 9. 1/3. Why is that?
Yeah.
And I can't help it. I think Legend of Runeterra is following in the footsteps of every other esport that occurred. People don't take it seriously. Why does the LCS suck? People aren't taking it seriously on the professional level. Why do we suck at every esport ever? I think we won a TI for Dota. Yay. I say we as if I'm part of the team. The United States won one TI, but that's like the one thing that the US has been good at. People just are not putting in the work. We're definitely being outworked, at least in terms of participation in these community tournaments. And I think I tweeted about it a few weeks ago after Elder Senior was won this seasonal tournament. It's just like anyone who's shocked by the fact that like Brazil is performing so well in these tournaments isn't paying attention to the community scene.
Yeah. 100%.
They're hosting more tournaments than anyone. They're playing in more tournaments than anyone. And this is I don't have stats to back this up, but just from my vast friends list now of players who are joining in, they're also scrimming more than anyone. So where's America? And can we stop okay, here's even more crap talk. Can we stop saying like, oh yeah, I would pay money to enter a tournament when we see that's not really happening with Mastering Runeterra, en masse anyway. P.S. Spoiler alert, we're going to have a big thing, but it might be free to enter for you if you do well in our tournament. I don't know. Spoils. Sorry. News coming soon, hopefully. TM. But not only that, but like, people aren't showing up for free tournaments. And you're going to tell me, like, people are going to like, oh, I'm going to pay $5 and yeah, that's a great deal. I'm going to do that. Please. No one from the United States. I should say no one. 6 people are. Let's check yesterday. Yesterday, we had a grand total, let's count, of Americans. We'll do America first, then Brazil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Americans. Okay. A little bit smaller tournament yesterday, but let's see how many Brazilians we had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 13. And that's with a Brazilian team league going on at the same time. Right? And they still had double the turnout of the United States. Why? They're working harder.
Yeah.
They evidently care more. And they think it's more worthwhile, I'm supposing. And it's really starting to turn up in a big way. I've made the comparison between StarCraft 2 in Korea, or I should say StarCraft, even Brood War, then StarCraft 2 in Korea. And now I think it's like turning into Legends of Runeterra in Brazil, like to the point where if this keeps up over the next few weeks, the next few months, heck, over the next few years, we'll be shocked whenever a non-Brazilian does win.
Facts. No, you speaking facts though. Honestly, I think. I personally don't know any. Well, actually, no. I'm lying because I was just about to say I don't really know a lot of NA people that really like playing Legends of Runeterra, but I do. I actually know a bunch of Legends of Runeterra players that are from NA. But I think a lot of people, maybe they don't take it seriously, or maybe they don't think that there's anything there. But I think if you decide to enter tournaments in general, right? I think you should definitely find, like, if you decide to really take seasonal tournaments or maybe just tournaments in general for Runeterra seriously, I think you should definitely start with the grassroots tournaments, like even if it's not ours, right? Because I mean, let's be honest here. We put on a pretty good show. We try our best. We try our best to definitely do everything we can. But even if you guys don't want to enter our tournaments, you should definitely try to enter Mastering Runeterra tournaments. Also, Optima also puts on with Runeterra Life as well. He puts on tournaments, and I'm sure if we checked his stats as well, it probably wouldn't be any different. But
I would be shocked if for some reason we're just more popular among Brazilians than Americans. Like, that'd be a weird thing to discover.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that this trend is going to be true, especially for free-to-enter tournaments. so like I'm actually really interested now to like talk to Optima over at Runeterra Life, and even like Boulevard and Jdoza, and I think his Discord name is Glassjoe, the guys who run OOS, to see if they're coming up with the same trend as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's
because
crazy.
Like it, and I hope I'm not sounding disrespectful to like Brazil at all, but like if the US ever hopes to like win anything ever, we're gonna need like the players to be participating at a rate that's at least equal to these other countries. I mean, I mentioned a lot about Brazil, but we even have like Colombia and Mexico turning out in almost Argentina, turning out in almost comparable numbers to the United States. I mean, we're a vastly bigger country. And a tournament that's hosted in the United States. And a English tournament. Right?
Yeah.
But they're showing up anyway, right? They're putting the work. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with the US.
And it's not like they don't have to pay for it. It's free. It's free, bro.
Yes. And we're not... Look, I get it. $60 for first place isn't the biggest number, right? It's not going to change your life, certainly. Probably not going to pay a rent, right? But look, that's a week worth of lunches. Like, it's not complete chump change.
Yeah.
It's not nothing, right?
I think it's definitely worth your time. And then on top of that, you gain some practice, right? You gain some practice from playing in the best of 3 formats, because you're not getting it off ladder, right? Let's be honest, right? You're not getting it off ladder. And you're not
getting it in Gauntlet.
Exactly. And then
Gauntlet
third of all...
are terrible.
Bro, don't even get me started.
I'll crap talk to Gauntlet. I'll do that.
And then,
I'm on a roll now.
And then third of all is that you're getting to practice against some of these top players. Like, we literally just named 2 seasonal champions that play in our tournament literally every week. Like, what more do I have to say?
And it's not like they win every week either. Because you know what? The people who are showing up in our tournaments are, like, good.
Yeah. No, like, they're godlike, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, here's a hot take. I've been wanting to post it on Twitter. I don't think Masters players should be allowed to play in Gauntlet. What do you think about that?
Wow. Masters players shouldn't be allowed to play in Gauntlet. That's a hot one.
Because it is. But I realized, like, I'm a mid to low Masters player. That's my skill level. But I don't know how many total gauntlets I've participated in, but I have one I can actually check because they tell you in game. At least since the last time it reset, 22 of them, right? 22. I think I'm something like 22-4 in terms of getting Prime Glories.
Wow, that's disgusting.
Like, why am I even allowed to do that? I just show up to the gauntlet and farm people. Like, and I'm not the best, right? Cephalopod like streamed for 22 hours of the gauntlet and never lost. So why are Masters players allowed to play in the gauntlet?
Wait, was that the stream where he said, "I'll end the stream if I lose gauntlet"? Was it that stream?
He never did. He got like 20 hours in, and he's like, "I'm sorry. I hope I proved my point." And he got off.
Holy crap! Wow.
So if unless you're going to encourage a lot of gauntlet with like a reward other than whatever icon we have, unless there's like a real reason to play in the gauntlet, stop letting people who've made Masters play the gauntlet.
I felt that. You know something else I was thinking? This must be another hot take. I'm surprised that we had why have we been getting, like, when you enter seasonals, right, and you get like your 2 or 3 wins, why do you get the same card back? Why haven't we been getting different card backs? Like, I literally just noticed that.
Yeah, it's the same card back every single time. I'm like, wow, what a major disappointment. Not only that, you know how many wins you have to win to get that card back in the seasonal tournament?
3?
3. You have 9 rounds. If you show up to all 9 rounds, you're going to get 3.
Facts.
It's 3 AFKs.
3 AFKs. Yep, I was just about to say that. 3 AFKs.
You could go 0-5. I guarantee you the other players are going So you show up to round 6, 7, and 8. Boom, you got your 3 wins. You're good to go. To think, I was so proud. I went 5-4. I thought when I earned my card back that you had to go positive. So I was like, yeah, I went 5-4 in the gauntlet. I was so excited. And then I realized, like, turns out literally everyone I ever play against on the ladder has that same card back.
You're like, damn, it means nothing.
So I don't care. But if they changed it, like, every season, or maybe every 2 seasons, I don't know. But
Yeah,
if they
it'd be
change
nice.
it just a little bit, give it a different color, give it a different
Something.
change the trophy to like something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then I could be proud of it. But I think now the only people proud of their card backs are fist bumps and like the world's competitor.
Yeah, fist bump definitely big one, right? Oh yeah. Oh my bad, Mad Wills. Mad Wills has been saying a whole bunch in chat. I haven't even been reading it. He said just make Nar say attack strike and he's fine. He said I'm the buff guy. He said I can write a book on the buffs that I want. He also said yes, please, Aphelios. And then he said, I'd literally revert all the Azir Aurelian. Okay, no, I'm not reading anymore. He lost all privileges with that one, buddy.
Although he did say, except on the Flawless Duet at 2 mana. I will say, I think the nerf they should have made was moving Flawless Duet to 2 mana. But the others need to stay as well. The only one I want to have rolled back, I'll be flamed for by certain members of the competitive community, and that's Azir. I want to go back down to 10 because I'm a Sun Disc lover.
It was so strong
That's
at 10. Oh my god, it was so strong.
He's a champion.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think it deserves to be strong.
It was really good, but I want to roll back that one and then keep everything else.
Yeah, let Irelia stay. You know what? A lot of other people were saying to do for Irelia, give her a tune.
Yeah. I can't believe they didn't actually do that.
I think that's good.
My
I think
mind
that's good,
blown
actually.
when I know they read the tweet that I think it was Darkodius put out. They read it, and when they were asking for like feedback on balance changes and stuff, they read it, they replied to it, and it didn't come through. I was shocked because it's so good, and it only affects like literally one interaction and one curve. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, I think it's actually fine, to be honest. But who knows? Maybe they tested it and it was way too broken. And like, yeah, no, Darkodius is crazy. I'm not buffing this.
Maybe.
Right.
I wonder if they did test it.
Yeah, I would think they did, if they didn't roll it out. But who knows? Maybe they literally just looked at it and they were like, a tune? We're not printing that on anything else. We're out of our minds. All right. Let's end the podcast here. Did you have anything else to add, Dory?
Oh, I'm done. I'm out.
You done fuming at NA?
NA needs to show up. That's embarrassing, honestly.
All right, recap for the podcast. So Black Boss, Callista Quinn, definitely best deck of the format.
At least yesterday it showed up.
Demacia, probably. It's pretty. It's alright. Demacia, it's alright region. It's pretty alright. And then last but certainly not least, like Doey said, NA definitely needs to show up a little bit more. And by NA we need because NA could literally be in Canada as well.
And Mexico.
we mean and Mexico too. It could mean so by NA we're talking about United States. Because we don't have any United States players really showing up to any tournaments. And it would be nice to see another United States winner for seasonals. But if he keeps going at the pace that's going, then I guess South America is going to be winning everything, which
and deservedly so.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I'm not even against it because they show up to our tournament. They show up to our tournaments literally every week, and I appreciate them. Honestly, I appreciate them. Like show me. First of all, they show me things about the game that sometimes I don't even know. I'm like, wait, that does that? Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's got to the point where I'm like, I'm not sure what Elder Senior is doing. Turns, I might Later, I figure it out, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I'm casting and not playing.
Yeah, no, yeah. I definitely agree with you. Oh, that's like yesterday when you thought freaking oh, what's the name of that Targon card that heals? I forgot. Star shaping. Yo, we both thought. By the way, we both because I forgot too. I was like, wait, didn't that card heal for 5? And I'm like, oh wait, it only heals for 4. That's right.
Yeah, I was just like, he inted. I can't believe it. Oh no! And then I was like, oh wait.
Nah, he was dead anyways. But all right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it off here. Appreciate everybody if they made it to the end of the vid. Of course, Mad Will's always in the chat, giving us the hot takes, telling me to mute the alerts. I appreciate you. And of course, Mr. X Doughy Nut always here, live, ready to talk. I appreciate the hell out of him, and casting as well, because that is not the easiest job in the world, by the way. Casting the tournaments, being able to know what each player is thinking about, trying to get into the perspective of every single player is a difficult task. So we'll see everybody next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this guy's channel. His links would be in down in the description if you want to check it out. But if I mean, that's pretty much it. So we'll see everybody next week. All right.
See you soon.
Later.
Peace.
All right. Appreciate that, Doughy. Yo, I haven't even been uploading anything to SoundCloud. I don't know. I've been super lazy. I need to catch up.
That's all right.
Yeah, I've been super lazy. Honestly, but you know what I've been trying to do? Do you know about A+? So for computers, you have to get your A+ certification.
The cert. Yeah. I know.
Yeah. So,
I'm looking into getting it.
Oh, you too?
Yeah, I want to like get a help desk position.
Yeah.
Like IT. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking into that right now. I'm studying for it.
Yeah. I want to start soon. They should. So every 3 years they update the test, and they just released the latest test in 2019. So they should be announcing when they're retiring that test soon. But they haven't announced it yet, and usually there's a 6-month gap. So if you like really hit it hard, you could probably pass the cert before they retire it.
Yeah, and then you have 3 years.
I mean, yeah, your certification after they retire the test, I think lasts forever.
It doesn't last forever.
It doesn't?
Nope.
You have to redo it every 3 years?
You just have to renew it. That's all.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so yeah, that's where I want to go. Are you still alive?
Yeah, I'm still alive.
Okay, never mind. I'm pursuing educational opportunities across a variety of fields.
I felt that. I mean, I don't mind talking, honestly, because I'm not I mean, I understand you because you do stuff, but that's what I've been doing. Trying to figure out how I'm going to pass the test. Because
have you heard of Professor Messer?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's where you go.
Yeah, and I've also been. There's another guy. I just bought his Udemy classes. It was on sale actually. I bought both for literally $40, which
nice.
Most of the time they're like $200. So,
dang.
Yeah. So I got it on sale. I would say if the sale is still there, because I think it said 24 hours when I looked at it 2 days ago. I would say that if you don't have it, you should
send me the
look
link.
At it.
I don't have it.
Okay,
send me a link.
All right, I got you. I got you after this.
Yeah, one of my friends has the Security Plus, which is
it's a level higher than that.
It's not a level higher. It's different content, right?
Oh, okay.
It's about like cybersecurity.
Oh, okay.
Instead of like help desk.
Gotcha.
Generalized IT. But it's done through the same company.
Okay.
And Professor Messer does all the CompTIA certifications, and he said I think he bought a book and did watched every Professor Messer thing on it, and he passed the Security Plus. He said it was hard, but the resources were good.
Nice.
So I mean, you're definitely looking in the right spot if that's a help to you at all.
No, yeah, that definitely helps. I mean, I've been doing a whole bunch of research on it. I've been trying to figure out how much time I should really take to study. I feel like that's probably the biggest issue, because a lot of people say you should take a month. Other people say you should take 3 months. So, but I'm just gonna watch everything that I can. I'm gonna start doing some practice tests, and I'm gonna see how I do. If I do good, then I'm gonna feel good about it. If I don't feel good, if I don't do good, then I'm just gonna continue studying and just see my progress. That's how I'm gonna gauge it.
An option available to you might be, actually, I might be getting two things kind of crisscrossed, but you might be able to apply for positions before you take the test, and have the hiring pending approval on you passing it. And if you pass, they might reimburse you. I've heard of things happening that for similar things. I can't remember if it's the same thing, but you could just go for it. I mean, worst thing to say is no, right?
Yeah.
So that's also a route that I've heard people take. But yeah, you're doing all the right things, so you already know kind of what you're doing. But yeah, I'm very much so seeking increased educational opportunities across many fields.
I felt that. Okay. Oh yeah, Manuel said SMH professional podcast here. Yo, it is always professional here on the Mystic Shop podcast, sir. All right, it's always professional. He said, honestly, though LOR needs more engine cards, more Twisted Fate and Nami cards, please. No more engines.
That's interesting, because we went through a phase where all the best champions only sat on the back row, and people were like, wow, it'd be great if we could have champions enter combat. And then they printed quick attack on every champion since.
Yep.
And they enter combat.
Yep.
And I was actually thinking about that pretty recently, where I think I'd kind of be okay with another back row engine coming out soon.
This is my issue with backline champions, and we could talk about this sometime on a podcast. Is I just think it's always toxic. Look at how MF interacts with the game. It's just she just wins you the game. You remember Vi Heimerdinger? That shit was toxic.
I'm ready to deal with that kind of toxicity for a little bit. Right? Let that be good for 3 months, and then nerf it, and then just go back and forth every 3 months.
But see, that's the problem, right? Is that if Riot were to continuously stay on the balance, then I'd be with it, right? I'd be like, yo, let's buff some cards and see what happens, right? But that's the issue, is that they'll literally buff something and then 6 months later be like, does it need a nerf? I don't know. It seems like the best deck, but it might not need a nerf.
I know. Look, man, the Shreeman Desert is vast, okay? The biggest scam in gaming history, ready? Bold claim, over-exaggerated claim, is them saying, we hear you, we're going to increase our patch frequency, and then literally every patch since then be like, oh, we're actually a little delayed. 2 weeks later. And then they're like, okay, so it's going to be monthly. And then it turns out to be 6 weeks apart instead of monthly. And it's like, wait, this is actually, I think, the exact same thing we had before when we were complaining.
Oh, wow. That's...
I don't know. Anyway.
I felt that one. I felt that. You feel so bamboozled. You just at that point, there's a certain point where you just have to tap out, right? You're just like, all right, yeah. Well, I guess it comes when it comes, right? I guess it literally the patch. If I go onto the Riot website and the patch is there, well, I guess it's there.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's not going to come, especially because we've been lied to at this point repeatedly. Like, I don't know. I laughed. It was out of sadness. But, like, the first patch where they were like, our new cadence is starting. And then the next patch, we're like, sorry, guys, it can be delayed a little bit. I'm just like, come on, kill me now. Like, how are we going to delay it? The first patch on your new cadence, how do you delay it?
I don't know. And then, yo, appreciate Yoda coming through. He said as long as it's not too strong like Veigar. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Veigar definitely is like a built-in win condition, which is obviously super, super strong. Matt was saying Vi Heimerdinger was toxic because the game didn't have tools yet. Also, landmarks as engines, please. Landmarks, I could definitely agree with. Vi Heimerdinger, honestly, I think it was toxic only. And this is probably a hot take, but I think mostly it was because we didn't know how to play the game. Honestly, I think we didn't know how to play the game completely.
I don't know. I wasn't good at the game at that point. I was like a silver, like, I'm playing a card game. That's who I was when Vi Heimer was playing. And then, like, shortly after that, I got good, but it had already been.
Mm-hmm. But I
anyway,
mean, this is
I gotta
my
get going.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Thank you for having me on, though.
Yeah, no problem. All right, bro.
See you around.
All right, stream.